Can you see how crooked that stud is there? We got one missing over here. Must have been a pretty good pothole. We'll massage that over. Of course, these will never get used again, but that's okay, because I'm going to put the wheels back on her. Welcome everybody, Steve here. Okay, I know you're asking, why am I putting the tires back on? Well, this is what I want to do. Anyway, I've got some couple things I've got to do. What I want to do is the front here. I want to sandblast this. I'm just going to use my little sandblaster, and then I want to put it in primer. That way, when I put the rotisserie on there, I don't have to worry about having to re-sandblast and redo. On the back, on mine, I cut the 8 inches off. I think that was a bit of a mistake. So what I'm going to do is leave the 8 inches on this one, put the rotisserie on there, I'm going to paint it, and then I can cut it off, and then I just have a little bit of touch up to do, and that's it. Really easy. But you know, like there's a little bit of a crack right there that needs to be tuned up. So we'll get that done. And then get the rotisserie on, lift this off so I can drag it outside. Yeah, this is getting exciting now. And we're gonna sandblast. We still got a couple nice days coming up. It is fall and it's getting really cold outside. But it's gonna be nice on Saturday, so we're gonna sandblast on that day. Today is Thursday, so that only gives me 2 days to get this thing ready to go. I don't think it'll be a problem. We still got to take these mounts off, so I got to drill that, weld that hole up today. I can take these mounts off now. Let's see what else has to happen. Yeah, just a little bit of everything, and I am going to take this front end off. But I need the wheels first. So we'll do that after we get the sandblasted. So one of the things that has to happen here, on my frame is off of a 69, these bolts were already here. But bolt holes, this is for the rear bumper, and of course we need a top one, that has to get moved over. So it's easier to do it, instead of going from here over, it's easier just to go from the end. It's 1.5, so 8 inches is 9.5. This one here is just a little over 6 3/8, so a little over 14 3/8. We just measure down, kind of figure out where, you know, you're going to have a little bit of slop room here, so it's not that big of a deal. So that one there is 1 1/16 down. Use a big tape measure. This has got a round over. If you're using a small tape measure and your diameter is not big enough, then it's going to ride a little low. So you might you know, slip a little bit on you. What did I say that was? 1 9/16, 1/16. That's what happens when you're just thinking about too many things. Perfect. This one here is 2 1/4. We'll put a mark on that before they disappear. Huh. Okay. I gotta go find my center punch. I just got the regular punch. Rookie! It's going to work. Wonder bar. And if you want to make sure your math is right, you can go, oh yeah, that's 8. That's 8. Just in case you can't do the arithmetic. This one here, I have this, I thought, you know what, I'd go from here and then bring it down. But then I got a rivet in the way, so it's going to cause an issue. It was a great idea at the time, until that got in the way. Okay, you can see this is bent down a little bit here, so it's kind of good that we're cutting that off there. And retune that pretty easy. So 7/16. I'm just going from edge. This is an oblong hole here. So 8 7/16. And that's 1 5/16. So if we go 9 5/16. Okay, so the edge of the hole, I've got it marked. And this one here is 5/8. So basically, I'm just going to drill a 5/8 hole in the middle. I'm going to take my do-more and I'll finish it off. I always drill a small hole first so that, you know, the bigger drill bits, they'll walk on you a little bit. This will help prevent that a little bit. So. I think my battery's going dead. That'll do. Now I pulled out the big unit for drilling the 5/8 hole. If you're using a cordless, that's a pretty good tug. So you don't need to do that. We'll just draw this out. Take the do-more, finish off. Okay, which way do I want to do this? I guess so. Well, as you can see, the A-frame, it has to go up quite a long ways here. about 2 feet. So I'm thinking I might get my brother to come in with the tractor and do this. My labor or his? Let's go get the tractor. Alright, we got the safety consultant here. And we're slowly jacking it up. We decided against the tractor. Almost?
We're halfway in. They come here and push.
Beauty. Alright. She looks a little weird, but it's gonna work. Alright. Hold on, I'm gonna run over the grinder. Good. I don't know. Kind of liking the gasser look. Okay, I'm gonna back up even a little further here for sandblasting. Just use a little bit of one step. It is a automotive etch primer. This is good stuff. I like this stuff. Now you're thinking to yourself, well, why are you priming it? Well, just in case it sits around for a little while, I don't want to have to deal with the rust. You got a little bit of time. But if I put this on, then all I have to do is basically just take a scuff cloth, give it a scuff, and go right to paint. Can't believe it. So we just gotta take this apart. I think we're just gonna go slowly. Just keep the gun in reverse and away you go. Here we are. So I hooked up the tie rod when I was pulling this out, just so that I could, the wheels wouldn't go all over the place. There'll be kind of a stover nut on there, so that wouldn't come off. Okay, time to take this spring out of here. And I got it chained up here. You gotta realize, even if this is down, there's still a couple of inches that this is compressed. So you can scare the hell out of yourself, so. Take and chain it up. And I got a piece of ready rod here, so that all I have to do is just undo it and it'll slowly go down. That's the theory, eh? And if something breaks, well, then she's catastrophic. But I think it's going to be fine. This is 3/8. So hopefully we're gonna leave the nut on, and then hopefully what I'll do is tighten this up, and then I'll take the nut off and then just loosen everything off. I think I got enough slack there. I can tighten that up a little bit. Should be good. All right, let's hammer away. Normally what you would do is you would, you got enough weight on your car, you just put a jack underneath there, but it ain't gonna work today. Just like that. That's a little loose, so tighten her up. Find a wrench. Okay, now we're fairly tight there. Now we can take the bolt off. Good enough. Stand back. Done. Okay, that's why you stand back. Oh, I got this damn brake line in here too. These things work pretty good for pulling these little brake line things off. Just like that. Now we just let her down. She's tight. We're on a bit of an angle here, so you gotta kind of come up with some creative ideas here. Probably quite a few good ones out there. This is the one I came up with. There you go, that's for sure. Now we just take this thing right off and just let it fall. Put the block underneath there. What I could do is go with one of those swivel thingy-doobies. Ooh, that's tough to take off. Holy cow. Coming off pretty easy, so that's good. I did give him a little brush, just like a wire brush. Well, that front end wasn't too bad to take off. Kind of happy with that. Now you might be asking, why are you taking the front end off? Why didn't you just leave it on there, sandblast and paint it? Well, when you're doing a nice build, what you want to do is you want everything right at least once. So this is going to be perfect. I can do each individual part, get them all cleaned up, get them painted, and then everything goes together way better. Just seems like when you got a nice new part or clean part, you just bolt it in. You don't have to worry about nothing. And it's going to look way better. When I do mine, I'm doing it exactly the same way. I would never not take it apart, give it a good paint job, and then you know it's good for a long time. Alright, time to put the old front on. Looks pretty good. Let me go the other way here. Pretty confident this is going to work. Well, it's going to have to work. There's no other way around it. You know, sometimes, you know, you sit there working away and, you know, it's nice to be able to chat it up all the time, but it's amazing how much you think. You know, you're putting this in here, you're trying to think about the next thing. What do I do next? What do I do next? Well, the first thing you got to do is find a 3/4 inch wrench. There's two of them laying around here. There's one right here. I use the other one for the do more. There's someone over here. All right, might be a couple second delay here. I'll find it. I wanted to put it away. No, I didn't do that. Oh! Okay, I think it's got to kind of go right about there. It already went against the grain here. tighten things up outside. See, right now my thought process is we have this cart, and you know, after it gets painted, I think what we'll do maybe is put it on the cart. That way, because I can't paint all these little pieces here at the same time I do the frame. I just haven't got the room in my shop. So that's what I was thinking while I'm tightening up these bolts. So you can kind of see how the process in my little brain works. Hey, one bolt left. Oh yeah, we only have one on the back. Here in the center a little bit more of the way. How far out? Here. Oh, we got her. Woo. Alright, we got a ratchet strap on here just to make sure that we're, you know, level. And then we'll tighten her up. Now, get on the other side and let the wrenches. Let's take this tranny mount out of here. Gotta go. We don't even know what we're using for a tranny mount, but what I'm going to do is eventually take it apart so that I can put it all back together later. Because right now we have to go this way, put it in, but if a guy could just put it in without scratching all my fresh paint, that would be better. But with this new transmission, I'm not really too sure what we're going to be doing yet. Sprung a little bit. That's pretty typical. I haven't sprung that much. Not bad at all. Take one of those out. So yesterday, I was kind of showing you how this frame or this rotisserie is working. And then I ran out of film. So I don't know how much it is, so I'm going to film it again. But this is really working out really well for me. And I quite like it. Now, I see an issue here. We got, there's these plates here. Right here. That it's on the inside, a lot of rust in there. up having to take that apart and repair that and then bolt this back in. Huh. It's just there for, it guts it, but there's a little bit of rust on the inside. We'll show it when we get it all kind of together, or sandblasted. I'm scrambling a little bit. I had to work this morning, so then we got one of those days where it might rain, might not rain, who knows. But we're gonna go ahead anyway. But this turns pretty nice. And so you want to be on about a 45. Get all this, go on the other side, get all that. Huh, it's gonna make sandblasting this frame way easier. Couple clips to take off here. Let's get those off. I think we're ready to roll this thing outside. So we had it outside, ready to go, and it started to rain. So when it rains, that means humidity's up, and you really kind of fight the sandblaster a little bit. So that gives me a little bit more time. You know, I can take off that back cross member there that I need to take off, and you know, do a couple little things that'll make life a little bit easier so that I don't have to take it back outside and use my little sandblaster. I was getting all excited. That's okay. There's always tomorrow. Just pulling off this whole wheel assembly here. Looks easier than it is. You gotta take everything apart, man. That's okay. Done. We'll have to press these ball joints. I'm going to put this back together so we don't lose no parts. I'll do that later. All right, one of the things you need to do when you're sandblasting, never enough room, is, you know, you get this grease build up here. If you can scrape off some of that, you know, even though the sandblaster's blasting away hard, when it hits this grease, it just bounces off. And you really got to work hard to get it off. So, we're doing just a little bit of scraping here and there. It's going to save some time. And it's going to save some sand. Now in here, where the spring is, what you do, find your chisel. You always get a little bit of rust buildup, so we're going to chip that away. This one here isn't too bad, but there is some. Alright, I had to make an executive decision today. These are the trailing arms here. a look, this one here, I've seen a lot of railroad tracks or something, it's beat up pretty bad. Split apart. It's repairable. All you have to do is straighten it out, you know, and then have to, you know, pin it back together. But they're just spot welded. This is a newer one. And they got rivets. So this must be the first try. There's one rivet there, but that's just holding this on. This one here is in nice shape. So I think I'm gonna have to change them out. I'm not gonna put the effort into the amount of work it's gonna take to, you know, fix this thing up versus just use a couple that I've got in inventory. You know, this one's got a little bend here. Well, that's easy. That's an easy fix. So, executive decision. We're changing out the trailing arms. Alright, I got a little bit of time here. We're going to sandblast this afternoon. It's not raining today, but I'm going to pull that cross member out right there. We have a brand new one because we have a new gas tank. And then we got these little gussets in here. You can see where it's rusting. So they need to be pulled out, straightened out, and put back in. Minor, but we got to pull them out. Okay, we got the perfect day for sandblasting. Let's give it a try. Well, the sandblasting turned out awesome. Got a couple little things that we still got to do here. You know, I've got a couple misses, like there's a little chunk right here I missed. But all that stuff, like as soon as I get my welds done and everything all tuned up the way I want it to look, you know, I can just wheel it outside, use my little sandblaster, tune it all up, and then we're good to go. I like it. I don't know what I would do without that rotisserie. I really don't, because you know, it's hard enough as it is. The frame is probably one of the hardest things to sandblast because there's so many little nooks and crannies, but we got her done. Okay, so now it's time we can get everything all welded up, tuned up, make sure it's all right, fix up these little braces back here. We got. I'm going to take these other ones off here as well, just so that, because you can tell there's a little bit of rust on these ones too. Want to make it all right. That's what I would do to mine. Probably going to have to do that to mine as well. But anyway, that's it. I'm going to start working on this today, so that'll be the next video. So thanks for watching. This is a pretty big step. Any step forward is a good step forward. Does that make any sense? Doesn't matter. Catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching.